My name is Kristy Nilsson, and I'm originally from Houston, Texas. I came to Atlanta Ballet when they invited me here, and I performed with them for 2 years, and then I went to the Charleston Ballet Theater in South Carolina. When I was at Atlanta Ballet, though, I choreographed a piece on the school, and the piece went really well. Jonnie Kelley saw my work, and she saw one of the pieces, and she really liked it, and called me up immediately after and asked me if I would come set something on ADT. She asked me to do a short contemporary piece for Serba, and I was excited to do it because I'd seen the Atlanta Dance Theater and they're beautiful dancers, and I knew that they'd be great to work with. When I was at Atlanta Dance Theater, Jonnie happened to mention to me she was intending to do a full-length ballet, but there wasn't a choreographer for it. And I had loved doing full-length ballet. It's an absolute joy, and I would want to do one again.
Here we are, and Bride's Entrance.
We did a Swan Lake. We hired a young choreographer, Kristy Nilsson.
And then she arabesques into the core, and then she runs over here and she arabesques.
It's such a monumental production, and the expectations are so high for the Ivanov choreography in Act 2. And I said, I think you have dancers who can do it.
That would be great, so you definitely have time. All right, so ladies, one little change, because it will be so beautiful to have them do that.
This version is a little different from the usual version.
Arms out, hips, kneel, pose.
I always have the idea that I want to make the stories be as beautiful as the dancing. And so my goal with Swan Lake was to make the love story as believable as and exciting. It's a fairy tale. I wanted to introduce the characters of Odile, Odette, and von Rothbard into Act 1. And so we have Prince Siegfried falling in love with Odette as a human before she gets turned into a swan. I started working with the younger company, the apprentices to the company, because I wanted to start with the big dances first.
Walk on a demi-point, Stephen, a little higher on your feet.
Usually, in a professional company, we say that it takes 1 hour to set 1 minute of choreography. So if you have a 5-minute piece, it'll take 5 hours. Instead of having an hour to set a minute, we had an hour to set 5 minutes. And we were working at an unbelievably fast rate. And it was a lot of fun, but it was a mad pace.
Charming, winsome smile.
Working with dancers, what's always the most exciting is when something comes together and works really well. The really exciting moment is when it clicks. When you've given a correction, when you've said a certain comment, and suddenly that dancer turns around and performs it exactly the way that you just asked. The roles are incredibly difficult, and the technique is among the most difficult in the ballet repertoire. But when it finally started to come together and the characters really emerged, was a very exciting thing. And the dancers looked beautiful.
She changed the storyline a little bit for the first and third and fourth acts, which was wonderful.
Act 1 and Act 3 and Act 4, which were my choreography, not the Ivanov, I was very happy with. When you finally get to see it from the house, it is a different experience, because instead of being 5 feet away, you're 50 feet away. Seeing the costumes, because you've seen the costumes on the dancers, but seeing them well lit by the lighting designer. Like I said, lighting has always been really important to me, and the lighting really does affect the way the whole piece looks and how it draws your attention. So it's a lot of fun to see your work on stage. What I loved about ADT was that they so light up when they're on the stage. They're used to performing, and when they got on that stage, they just lit it up from an artistic standpoint as well as a technical standpoint. I was blown away. They were wonderful. Everything looked great. The costumes, the sets, the lighting were beautiful, and the dancers really stepped up. As a choreographer, I'm trying to give the dancers the opportunity to dance something that I would have wanted to dance. I think dancers dance their best when they're inspired, and I want to give them something that they find inspiring. My goal is to make the dancer look the best that they can look for their own strengths and weaknesses, both technically and artistically.
It was shortened, it made sense. Families enjoyed it. It was one of our best performances we have ever done.